Hello and welcome to Makers Monday in a completely different corner to usual. Basically, I'm up the corner, usually see behind me, I'm up the corner that's usually over my left hand shoulder, where the Expedit unit is. Not a huge amount of crafting to show you or anything this week, so what I've decided to do, I have pulled out my entire stash. I was hunting to see if I could finish another project for somebody. So I've hunted through my entire stash and I've now worked out where I'm heading with some of my knitting. I've also, the secondary reason why I'm over here, made a complete and utter mess of my desk. I can't actually see the desk or the sewing machine currently because there's that much fabric. I have found storage though for my fabric scraps, in giving my mum 10 tons of yarn cones that I had. Probably not even got any, no, none to hand anyway. But basically I had 10 tons of coned yarn that was really, really thin, and mum has started to make absolutely fabulous tamari balls. If you don't know what they are, look them up. But basically it's like a little bell in a polystyrene ball, and then it's wrapped and sewn. And she went on a course at the Royal School of Needlework, and they are phenomenal. They are absolutely beautiful. So this thread was so thin and quite a nice sheen to it. Was basically perfect for these tamari balls, I hope. Because I've given it a hell of a lot, and I found another bag's worth of these wretched cones today. So basically all the crappy ones can go sort of underneath in the thread winding, and all the nice ones can then be done on the patterns, on the designs on the top. If I can get some tamari balls photos, I shall, or if I've got some somewhere in my stash of photos from mum, I will insert some here so you can see what I'm actually wittering on about. Anyway, back to today. So, with regards to knitting, I have broken the armistice with my dad's socks, and I have knitted one of the heels, and it's basically like knitting a toe. Why did we not tell me this? It is basically, you pick up the stitches around and you knit another toe in, and it forms, magically forms a heel. Ha ha! Who knew? Because I certainly didn't even occur to me that could be a case. So yeah, I'm amazed by that. I've done it. One of them. I need to do the other heel, and then I will actually have finished Dad's Christmas socks. Needless to say, the yarns I have chosen for Dad's socks this year don't have any form of striping, so they will not affect any of my OCDs, and yeah, they'll actually hopefully get done for birthday and Christmas. So I'm going to move out the shot. I'm going to grab at least one of my buckets from here and show you what I've been up to. Now, so I have now got stash down the bottom. I've got spinning stuff to be spun. I've got random projecty things that I obviously had ideas for at some point in another drawer. I've got a lovely drawer of works in progress. So yeah, there's a whip walk of shame still happening. I don't think it's changed at all from last year, but we'll run through that in a moment. But anyway, I have sorted through, and into one of my cubes I have done so far. I've still got a couple of bags in front of me, one bag in front of me to sort. I just discovered under my desk. There's going to be a lot of rustling. They're all in baggies. But I have put a list, basically the yarns ready with a note in of what I intend each one or ones to be. So, bright orange acrylic. My nephew, I've got some black acrylic hiding somewhere that direction, so I will put some more when I get to it, when I find it under the fabric, into this bag. He's requested some tiger socks. Ta-da! Tiger socks, in double knit of course, so they'll be nice and chunky, quick to knit. I have grabbed a cone of yarn and the thing, and this is to do some design work. This is a bunny and a teddy design work. So this is the alpaca that I had all spun up in the caramel, and the black, which I have yet to skein up and get in the shop, but I've got some designs for that going through my head. I've got a couple of skeins of sock yarn. There is one skein of the Knitting Swede, which is in mulberry, mustard and green, and it's stride self-striping. James won't mind if the stripes go a bit awry. Yeah. And one of my colourways, Damson, for socks for James. We've got the ever neglected pile of socks for me, which includes 3 skeins of Rivenet, one of my skeins that I dyed up for, well, they're either going to be socks or shawls or scarves. One of my skeins for the Tits Out Collective that I dyed up last year, a skein of Easy Knits, and Old Maiden Aunt, the skein that she dyed, Bling Bling, which was again for the Tits Out Collective last year. If you don't know what the Tits Out Collective is, Google it. It was amazing. And looks to be happening again this year. Different colourway though. I've got sock yarn for Dad. Spoke about that in a previous episode as an acquisition. I have got a whole bag of Triskelion yarns. Triskelion are basically based literally down the road from me in Talog. And this is their Skilfling 4-ply yarn. I think it's Skilfling. And it is basically, I've got one set of the Blueface Leicester, 75% Blueface Leicester, 25% Gotland. There's 3 skeins of that. And then there's a skein of one that's got some Wensleydale, which is, I think, is just a plain sock yarn. Skilfling sock. But anyway, so there's 2 different greens, a nice brick colour, a blue and a purple. And I'm wondering about making an Archer sweater out of those. This will be the year. This will be the year. This is some Juniper Moon Farm Harriet yarn. And some other bits and pieces. That might actually help me out for another project, so I'm going to nick that out of there for now. Got something else I can use in place of that. So I have got this here is for a barbel hat for me. I'll have to replace the grey in that, but with something. I think I might have just enough stuff to find something. But I'm finally going to knit my barbel hat. I've got some colourwork mitten designing to do with some alpaca, and that is some worsted sock, alpaca sock yarn, alpaca and Exmoor Blueface. I don't know who makes that stuff. I think it's possibly John Arbon. Yes, John Arbon Textiles, and some leftover, Misty Alpaca. This was I used for my lattice hat design, which is available on Ravelry, Etsy and Love Knitting. The lattice hat, yes, the leftover Misty Alpaca I bought from Loop, the very first Great London Yarn Crawl that was held. We went on that. I've then got some Prism Collect yarn, and I think that's intended for some sort of circular cardigan. Patterns in there anyway. That was a long-standing one. And then I've got some lovely bright acrylic-y bits and bobses. I want to do some children's jumper designing, basically for the boys. So dinosaur jumpers are in the offing with this. But I have also got the pattern to do a digger jumper, and my little boy is so into all those sort of things at the moment. It's wonderful. So that is that drawer. So there's a bit of designing work, bit of plain old knitting up some patterns, God knows how many pairs of socks, maybe a bit of design work in there as well, some tigers, some more design work, some socks for James, some socks for Dad, And a nice discovery in there. And also in that, I've got my fabulous bag. I so love this. This is Anne Katine Beeg. I have no idea how I'm pronouncing that. I probably do it completely wrong. But Mana, I test knit for her. There we go. There's the thing there. I test knit for her Peaky Cat socks, and I got this as her present to say thank you. And I love it. I love all of these things. I really want to buy a load of her pins. One day when I'm earning lots and lots of money. Anyway, so that is that. I've then still got my big bag of little bits of sock yarns. So this is going to be, this is my sock yarn blankets basically. There's a couple mulling around in there. So that's got to be done. There's also the work in progress, which is my blanket, which I am making up with sheep breed. So I'm spinning the yarn and then I'm crocheting the yarn into a style of log cabin blanket. Pardon me. So there's that in there. Ooh, more exciting discoveries. Bondable Angelina. That gets to go in the spinning drawer. Oh, excuse the crinkling. So I'm sorting every time as I go into this. I'm finding a bit more. Finding a bit more. So I've got some more design work there. See, so they'll go into project bags. Once I sort through this bag here in front of me, I found another basket, as I said, under my desk. So, happy joy, we'll go through that and finish off that and get this into the inventory. But, the whip walk of shame. Dum, dum, dum. So, this little mess is an owl blanket. There are owls that need eyes. I think I've crocheted enough owl bits and inner bits to actually make a reasonably decent sized blanket. Just need to do all the white bits, actually crochet it together. And then maybe actually give it to who it was intended to be given to. You never know. There is... Ooh. Tunisian crochet, anyone? There's a Tunisian crochet blanket in this bag. I don't think I dare get it out. Oh, hang on, I might be able to get a bit of it out. In a couple of different yarns. So yeah, that's interesting. So Tunisian crochet. Might only be a very short one. Might end up being... Oh, there's a jumper to repair. That was my original Lady Buller jumper. That, irritatingly, can't see where now, has a couple of holes in it. There. Right on the front. You see that? There. Whoop. So yes, and I think there's a couple more. But yeah, not long after I actually just finished knitting it, all those yards and yards and yards and yards of stocking stitch, it got holes in it. And I've got none of the yarn to replace it with. So I need to find something that's going to be similar enough to this, which I can't even remember what it's on my Ravelry projects page anyway. So similar enough to this, so I can actually do it. Because I ended up playing yarn chicken and made a bit of the bottom band in actually a different colour. Completely different. Anyway. Then there's the second Lady Buller that I'm knitting, that I decided in my eternal wisdom to put a colourwork panel into using some Noro Silk Garden. It looks very, very lovely, but it's taking forever. The colourwork is fun. She says. I have one of these wretchedly dreadful twirly scarves to finish. I have a pair of baby boy leggings that I think literally just need sewing up. Oh no, there's needles still in there. I might need to finish a tiny wee bit of them, but they just need sewing up after that. They might get done reasonably quickly. A hat that needs lining, probably with a bit of fleece, because it's not got very much substance. So I think a bit of black fleece on that, lining it, will do it nicely. And then maybe Given the size of my son's head, it'll probably fit him fairly shortly. Then there is the temperature scarf. Good Lord help us. There is a temperature scarf. I have no idea when, offhand, I started this temperature scarf. Evidently I started it in summer, because look at all those hot colours. Hot, hot, hot. Yes, because then it gets showing you completely the wrong side as well. So yeah, so you can see, I think that's probably spring, summer, and then we were heading into September. So I think maybe work out roughly where I got to, and maybe finish that off with the winter temperatures from September last year. And then we've got, oh, these are a pair of big knee-high socks that I was on the verge, well, designing. And they're on all sorts of numbers of these things. So these were spiral. I'm about to get interrupted now. Spiraling socks. Aha! There is a small boy that has appeared at the doorway. Luckily, the small boy has been foiled, because the small boy is actually naked. It has been foiled by the boxes. Temporarily. Temporarily. He is now coming through. Hello, small boy. Please do not kick your way through my projects. Are you hiding from Daddy? This small boy has just had a bath. Are you going to say hello? That's nice. Right. Oh, who's this? Who's that? Dinosaur, yes. Yes. Thank you. Right, can you take Dinosaur down to Daddy? Can you take Dinosaur down to Daddy? Mummy's just packing this away. So, we have the whip walk of shame. We still have our little boy there. Put that back. We have the whip walk of shame, and we have some project plans. And I think that's about all, folks. So, if you enjoyed the vlog, give us a thumbs up and consider hitting subscribe. And I will see you again next time.